What's the crack, everyone? It's Ollie from B2B Sports here. Sam is here as always. I was waiting for you to say that,
As
didn't
always. I
I?
don't know what was happening. I just went silent. I was like, I'm chilling.
But yeah, we're back with another podcast. We've been away for a few weeks. I've got a puppy, some life-changing news that's made me
Oh yeah.
less able to jump on the mic, but we're back. We're just going to waffle through what's been happening over the past couple of weeks. I've got no notes, so this is going to be a bit of flitting here, there, and everywhere, rather than probably
Bit of a
move
minefield.
to sport. I suppose personally, I want to start with how impressive Chelsea have been over the past couple of weeks with
I,
first the Tottenham game and the Man City game. What are you saying?
it's I don't know if we should be grading Chelsea on their performance against Tottenham, particularly.
Okay, right.
I
Well,
mean,
what the reason? What's the reason then?
one before they got their first red card, we weren't particularly playing too well.
Yeah, we were getting battered. We were
Yeah,
getting
getting pretty battered.
battered.
Obviously get the sent off. To be fair, it's just more even when you get sent off.
True, true that.
Um, and then the second red, you're playing against 9 men. The fact that you only scored four and two of them came in after the 90th minute that's a shambles.
Mate, Jackson, what a hat trick from the bloke.
And yeah, I understand they play well. They won great against Spurs, who were top of the league at the time, and they've been playing out their skin. I don't think I don't think that's the game we should judge them on. I think if you're going to judge them on the game, it should be that City game, which was the best they've played all season.
What a game that was. I mean, I did a little video about it earlier on in the week, but to get one crazy game like that, Chelsea Tottenham was absolutely mental. Like,
Mm,
proper Barclays, like a game of the season, contender. And then to have another one straight after, 4-4, like
yeah,
to have two top teams competing and to score and concede four like each
yeah.
is mental, isn't it? Like you don't get that
Mm,
often.
no, the first time it's happened in Pep's career. I think the
Is
team
it?
he manages has drawn 4-4. But yeah, I think that was just a great game overall. Obviously, very little defense in it, um, but it made it exciting at the end of the day. Cole Palmer is, I don't understand how City let him go,
What a guy.
um, but he's instantly like one of your best players and is seeming to lead that team,
Yeah.
which I don't know if it was worrying or but I think it's probably a good thing. Um, so yeah, I'm surprised.
I mean, for Cole Palmer to step up and take the penalty straight away, um, I think the first penalty he took and scored, he took it off Raheem Sterling. So there was a little bit of a debate
Mm,
going on there. And you're right. He's just walked into the club. He's got a bit of a reputation for being the next sort of big thing with from
yeah,
City. It was a bit weird that Pep just let him walk, especially after they sold Mahrez as well. You think he'd get more game time. But yeah, for him to just step into the side, take the penalty over Raheem Sterling, and continue this penalty taking, scoring streak. I think he scored three in a row now, and then to have that, the balls and to just slide it into the top left, that ice cold penalty was pretty cool. I can't lie, it was pretty
yeah.
cool. I don't know if you heard Peter Jury's like commentary, but he said City's boy, now Chelsea's man, and he just took the penalty and scored it. I thought, oh, it's just a great bit of commentary.
Chills, absolute chills. Peter Drury is an absolute legend. But yeah, I mean Chelsea are on the up. It seems, and to play like that against City. I mean, probably is normally the team they play best at the bigger teams, and then you go play Wolves or something and lose 3-0. I don't know.
That's the
Uh,
thing. That's the thing. Like Chelsea this season have struggled against the lower sides. Against the top sides, we've played a lot better football, and we just
mm,
struggle. If a team has a low block, just pack the box with defenders and make as many midfielders as possible. We can't seem to break that down. But if it's a more open game,
mm,
we're in with a shout essentially.
you do a bit better. Yeah. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. I mean, not quite the most informed team in the league right now. And put out there.
I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. How are United the most informed team in the Premier League? Like, how is this? How's
La
this happened?
I don't know. Last 5 games, 4 wins, 1 loss. I mean, I don't know what's going on. That
But
loss was against City, I think, but but still, we're
you,
getting up there.
you go on socials though, and everyone's slating United. Everyone's like, United can't get it going. United are in the mud. United are this
Yeah,
and that, and yet they're doing all right in the league.
I mean, they're not pretty wins.
No,
I have to admit, the win against Luton wasn't particularly pretty. Um, yeah, win against was it Fulham wasn't particularly pretty. So yeah, it's a at least we're getting wins. We can put it like that.
true,
Not particularly fun to watch, but at the end of the day, get the W, get the 3 points,
true.
going up the table,
It's true.
and
And
hopefully we can beat Chelsea when it comes to it.
no, not a chance. That'll be a draw, mate. 0-0 draw. the, the thumbs up's come
The
back.
thumbs come back a bit. Honestly, I was about to say it happened when I was on FaceTime to my dad. Those thumbs came up again.
What is it? What are they?
I don't know. I forgot to look, but I have no idea what it is because you can't press it. It just comes up,
Just comes up. So
and that
strange.
was on FaceTime.
Is it you? Are you the problem?
It seems to be me, but I don't know
But going back to
how.
United anyway, I think a lot of their goals are coming from your midfield. I know that
All of them.
Hoyland is, I've put him in my fantasy team. I was expecting him to like do bits, and he's just ones and twos. I need to take him
That
out.
one take him back out again because he's injured. But
Is he injured now? Is he?
yeah,
Ah, okay.
he had to come off against Luton, I think. But yeah, no, all our goals are coming from midfield. I think McTominay's scoring loads. Fernandez scored a couple. Um, I think who was it scored this weekend? Lindelof scored against Luton.
Lindelof. Where's that coming
Bloody
from?
Lindelof. So yeah, like I said, it's not exciting to watch, but it's getting the job done.
And
Um,
it's
but just
it's
coming up to Christmas.
it's funny that your form in the Champions League is completely different to your form in the league right now because
Yeah,
Champions League. What are you still bottom of the group
we're still
currently?
bottom. I think we're bottom on 3 points. I think Galatasaray and um, I can't remember the other team was called, but they're both on 4. So the fact that we're still in the chance of coming second in that group is mental.
Crazy.
With
Yeah.
2 games left, we're very much in it.
It, Bayern are running
Bayern
away
obviously
with
got
it.
12 points. Yeah, they're running away with it, but that's fine. Still come second. Nothing.
They're
We've got
good.
we've got Galatasaray and Bayern to play.
The two toughest teams
So
left.
yeah, so I'd be happy with second or third. I think Europa League wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but um, I don't know. It's just watching the Champions League is just so sad to watch at the moment.
At least you're in it, lad.
Honestly,
At least you're in
exactly. That's true. At
it.
least we're in it. I don't even know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, it would be mad if you drop out of Europe altogether. If you were to finish bottom, that would be crazy. Um,
Yeah,
you'd like to think you still get into Europa and still make it through into the latter stages of Europa League, unless you meet like
yeah,
Sevilla or someone like that, then you're in trouble again.
yeah. Aston Villa or something.
Yeah. Did you see the Chelsea women played Real Madrid women yesterday? Did you see the bit of the controversy over the
They got
was two
royally screwed.
they got mad screwed up. What was that all about? Two huge decisions. One
Yeah,
was they deemed like a penalty when the challenge was way outside the box, and the other was an
mm,
offside call where is it Sam Kerr was miles on the side. Like I think there was about
yeah. 5 players were.
four or
Yeah,
five players. There's no VR in the women's game, which is criminal. But yeah, what was your take on that? And did you see that? So
I didn't see the game. I saw those 2 instances, and I don't understand how. I understand one of the mistakes technically with the offside one. there was a Chelsea player further in who was technically offside. The ball didn't come to her, but she could have been influencing play. I don't know how that would work. But the penalty, like she was a full like 2 meters outside the box. I don't understand how that's given a penalty. So yeah, they got a bit screwed, to be honest.
Majorly.
Their luck in the Champions League isn't always great.
No,
Especially now their manager is leaving at the end of the season.
that's huge, huge. Emma Hayes
Um,
been at the club for
the
ages.
fact, yeah, won everything.
Mhm.
Yes, but she'll be a sad loss. I think she's going to coach the US national team.
I don't know what she's going to do, because I heard one thing that she just wanted to spend more time with the kids and she was going to have a break from football altogether. And then the next thing I was hearing that she's going to be USA head coach. So
Yeah,
didn't Megan Rapone, like, she came off injured after 3 minutes on a final game? See that?
yeah. Final game.
Yeah,
I think she
unfortunately.
tore ACL or Achilles or something 3 minutes in, and they ended up losing that game as well. It was a final, so a bit of a shame
Bit
to
of a
end your
shame.
career like that. But she's had a hell of a career, so I don't think she'll be too disheartened.
Not at all. Not at all. Talking about Achilles, that's a good link there, Sam. We'll move
Segue.
to a bit of NFL. We are going to flit here and there in this episode, but Achilles. So you had Aaron Rodgers at the start of the season go down with his Achilles injury, and then you had Kirk Cousins, or the Minnesota Vikings, go down in Week 8 against the Green Bay Packers a couple of weeks ago with his Achilles injury. It was exactly the same sort of that pop in the calf. Do you see it? It's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
The amount of pain that they must go through is grim. Um,
Mm.
yeah, both Achilles injuries. But then the Vikings obviously picked up Josh Dobbs on the trade deadline
What
day.
signing?
What a signing that was! There was a lot of unknowns about him, I suppose, because he was at the Cardinals. He's bounced around the league for a little bit, but the Cardinals are terrible this year. So the games, I think he beat the
Yeah.
Cowboys, but he hasn't had much success with the Cardinals. But he's showed glimpses of being a decent quarterback.
Mm.
And he gets to the Vikings and he wins the game against the Falcons, and he wins us the game against the Saints, and just insane. I can't even put
Yeah.
into words how mad it is to have a QB that's actually mobile that can run.
Yeah, and not just that, like he's insanely smart apparently. So apparently he's like an aerospace engineer,
Yeah, yeah.
um, super smart. He had to take his first snap before he'd ever even practiced with the center. They had to do it on the sideline, so go through their cadences, which is I've never seen before. And the fact that he did that and then came out and won them the game, that's just next level. I hope he continues that. He seems like definitely a future and a QB for the future. Which I mean, I feel sorry for Kirk Cousins at the end of the day, but if he comes after the season with the Vikings win, like get into the playoffs because of Josh Dobbs, I don't see how you can have Kirk Cousins as your QB1
I
next
was
year.
I was I was going to ask that. I was going to ask, what is your, like, how well does he have to do to keep the job next year? Because let's not forget, Kirk Cousins was playing at an incredibly high level. Like, obviously we had
Yeah,
a
I think
terrible
you won 3 or 4 in a row, haven't you?
Yeah, we had a terrible first, like, 3 or 4 weeks, but then it was starting to turn around, and Kirk Cousins was the catalyst of that. Obviously, Josh Dobbs has now carried
Mm.
it on, but Kirk Cousins was playing at an extremely high level. So I guess how far is he going to get to the playoffs? Is that, would you give him the starting role after that next year, or does he have to, like, really make a run in the playoffs for you to consider him starting over Kirk Cousins next year? I suppose that's a big
Yeah.
question.
Personally, I think he needs to have a game where he's not playing well, to see how he gets on. I
Adversity.
think, yeah, to see how he gets on with that. If he comes out in a close loss or anything like that, where he's getting beaten down and he tries other things, I think that would be quite good to see. Um, but yeah, I think if he gets into the playoffs, that he should definitely be much higher priority as their number one quarterback than he has been.
Sure.
I think going into the off season, you've got a pretty good QB room with Kirk Cousins and Josh Dobbs
Exactly.
if this continues. And to be fair, I think Kirk Cousins has been very good about it. I think he's been helping Josh Dobbs and
Yeah.
coming into practices and or coming to at least the meetings and going through stuff with them. He's Kirk Cousins is very much a team player, so
Yeah.
making sure that the QB that's replacing him at the moment is helping the team to the best that they can, I think is really good. So I think I don't know how lucky you were getting him, to be honest, because Josh Dobbs had been everywhere. I think he was at the Panthers
I know he's at
or
the Browns, the Cleveland
he was at the
Browns. I know he was
Browns.
there, but he's bounced around about, is it 6 or 7 teams he's been part of?
Yeah,
But I think he's just been a backup quarterback and been part of he's not a starting role, but I think he's just bounced around being a backup here and there, waiting for his
he was
opportunity.
drafted in 2017.
Yeah.
What the fuck? When did that happen? So he was
What
at the Steelers. So he
Steelers?
got drafted by the Steelers, and he went to the Jags, and back at the Steelers, then the Browns, then the Lions as a practice squad member, then the Titans, and the Browns as a practice squad, and the Cardinals, and now the Vikings.
That is a hell
What
of
a
a story.
strange,
That is a hell of a
yeah,
story. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like
yeah, definitely,
it's all about taking your opportunity, isn't it, when you get given? Like
yeah,
because obviously when you're a settled starter quarterback in the league, it must be so hard to try and boot someone out that spot, you know.
yeah,
Like there was no one ever booting Tom Brady out of his spot once he was going in New England,
no,
was there? So I
not
suppose
really.
as a backup it's proper hard unless you get that opportunity to fully take it. Um
Mm.
Talking about New England, is gone south extremely.
Gone very south.
He's gone bad. He's gone so
That
bad.
Colts game was just an absolute mess. I mean, to be fair, defensively we played not too bad. I'm quite happy with the defense. Our defense is normally the best part of our game, but just couldn't get it going on offense at all. Apart from our opening drive, really, and maybe one or two others, we actually looked like we could string a few passes together, get through runs together. Um, Mac, I don't know how to describe him anymore. He threw the worst pass I think I've ever seen in getting picked off in the red zone. Like it was an easy touchdown. There was
Mhm.
nobody really around him, and he just had to throw it a bit harder to get over the defender, and that was a touchdown. And he throws the limpest throw I think I've seen for a while. Um, and then Bill Belichick continues to play him, and then until our final drive when he puts Bailey Zapp in, and then gives Bailey Zapp a fake spike play, and then he throws it into just straight to the defense. There's none of our players even there.
That was one of the weirdest plays I've seen ever. I don't really know what was going on there at all.
No, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what would happen. Um, I think we need a full rebuild. We need a quarterback we can at least trust. I don't think any of our quarterbacks are the one.
Hmm.
I know Cunningham was touted to be our starter next season. Bailey Zapp he's okay. Brian Hoyer, I think, still there in the
Still
background.
kicking about.
And Mac Jones will every now and then have a really good game where he throws for like 300 yards,
Mhm.
uh, 2 touchdowns, but no, it's not. It's just not happening. And I think the only thing at this point is that we are quite high up in the draft order. I think we're third at the moment, which is
Tanking.
the
You're
first time we've
tanking,
been in the
mate.
top 10 since I've seen, since like the 2000s. But I don't even know what QB we could take from college at the moment. The only one I'm seeing is that Caleb Williams, I think,
Yeah, I've heard
who
that. Yeah.
who's lost like 4 games to top teams now, and we're seeing crying in the stands.
Mhm.
So I don't know what even our prospects for that are.
I think his jersey number's 13. I think he needs to change that ASAP.
Maybe, yeah,
Mhm.
that's never a good jersey number. But we could trade our number 3 pick for a big name.
True. True.
To be fair, it's good draft capital, which Bill obviously loves to do. We could pick up I don't know, a veteran QB. Maybe if you're going with Josh Dobbs, we'll pick up a Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins. Who knows? If you
Why
give it a
not?
little
Why not?
something, then be
Exactly.
worth listening to.
He likes the cold. That's fine. Trying to think of any other QBs. Gardner Minshew. When the
Would you
Colts
take
when
him?
the yeah, well, he's sick. I love Gardner Minshew.
Uh,
When their QB comes back,
take
who else? Baker Mayfield. Come on.
Zach Wilson. If
To be
Aaron,
honest, I don't think he's as bad as everyone says. Um, but no, probably not. At this point, like Josh Allen might be in the question at this
yeah, I
point.
know the Bills are 5-5, which at 500 isn't the worst record, but when you've got the high expectation of Josh Allen and the Bills, then they expect to win the playoffs and especially in the divisional game every year,
Yeah,
championship game with the Chiefs every year really. But yeah, I think they've fired their is it offensive coordinator or
yeah,
something's going wrong in there. I don't know what it is, but it's not looking good.
no. And I think it was Stefan Diggs's brother was like saying it was only when Stefan got there that he kind of
Yeah.
was since he's been that Josh Allen has been going off. And if you look at the stats, he's not wrong. He's really not wrong. I didn't realize it, but he only started throwing 30 touchdowns a season when Stefan got
Wow. Okay.
there. So it does look that way. I know Josh Allen has also he has been really good. I don't think it was all down to Stefan Diggs, but yeah, they've hit a couple of snags this season. I don't know if they'll be. I mean, again, so the Chiefs, but they're still managing to win.
True.
Um, but yeah, it's a tough one for them, which I'm more than happy to see.
As a Vikings fan, though, I know when Stefan Diggs can be a little bit of a diva. He's a great
Yeah,
player, but he can be a diva. And when things aren't going his way, he'll
mm,
come out with some cryptic tweets on
yeah,
social media or whatever on Instagram. So yeah, they better book their ideas up. Otherwise, there might be a bit of tension going on there. Um,
mm.
going back to New England, actually, I heard a rumor that Bill Belichick could potentially be going to the Chargers as a head coach
I heard
slash
that.
GM role.
Yeah,
What
I heard
what
that
do
as
you think
well.
up?
It's tough. I think um,
Would you blame
he
him?
obviously I wouldn't blame him. No, I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame Robert Kraft if he thought that was the best thing to do is to get rid of Bill Belichick as well. Um, I think there's always got to be a point where you're like, it's time.
True.
Um, and for one of the most successful people in NFL history, it's hard to be like you're done because I mean next season he can put it all around and stuff. I know that he's probably had time now. I don't know who we get in to be honest
No.
at this point. I mean, I think I'd go for try and get Mike Tomlin.
I tell you who like could actually genuinely be a head coach with you, Brian Flores. Brian Flores, the
Yeah,
defensive coordinator for the Vikings, he obviously had a head coaching job with the Dolphins. I think that for particular reasons, I
oh
think
shit.
that went south. But I think I think we were surprised as Vikings fans to actually get him as a defensive coordinator because I think he had quite a lot of head coaching opportunities as well.
Yeah,
And he's proved he's a decent coach. He's turned the Vikings defense around this year.
yeah,
And I genuinely believe he could actually be a really good like get for you. Obviously aggressive
true.
defensive minded head coach that will just blitz 24/7.
Yeah,
Like I think that could be a shout.
that's true. Also like a Mike Vrabel.
Yep, yep, yep. Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing too well with the Titans at the moment for to leave that job.
Mm-hmm.
But ex-Patriot, awesome head coach, knows what he's doing. Um, yeah, it'll be weird for life without both Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, but it had
100%.
to happen at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's next season. Um, and just hope to God that if we do change, that we have a better season than we're having now.
Yeah, it's so unusual for the Pats to be this bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's so weird. But as you said, you're in the,
not
the
fun.
race for number one draft pick, which is mad.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If the Panthers, no, is it Panthers? Yeah. Um, if they start winning games,
Who
we're in
knows?
there.
Who knows?
And Arizona start winning games.
Who knows? Well, they had Kyler Murray's back, to be fair, but I think the week before Kyler Murray came back, they had 58 yards total offense in the
Yeah,
whole game. Like they were terrible, absolutely terrible. Um,
that's
s-
unlikely.
we have to talk about the Broncos. Earlier on, was it last season or this season? We absolutely ripped Russell Wilson. It was last season, wasn't it? It was last season
Yeah,
where he was doing his warm ups on the plane and he was coming out with some cheesy quotes. But
let's ride.
let's ride Broncos country. Let's ride. But in recent weeks, they've beaten the Chiefs and the Bills.
I
So
know. I'm
props to them.
surprised. Um, Very fair play. He seems to be cooking a bit. I mean,
Yeah.
they only beat the Bills because the Bills were idiots at the end of the game
Yeah, true.
and had 12 men on the field for the field goal. Otherwise, they would have won that game. Um, but again, the win against the Chiefs, absolutely full merit. Russell Wilson, I still I don't know if that's all because of him. I think that's just a bit of the Chiefs not playing well, and the Bills definitely but didn't play well last week. So um, I still think they're kind of two sleeper wins in that kind of
Yeah.
sense. They're not. I think they're not proper wins. Um, I don't even know what a proper win looks like at this point. This point, as a Patriots fan, but I didn't think they were particularly worrying.
Mm.
But it's good to see though. I think his throw to I can't remember who's caught it was like um, the least likely touchdown percentage of a play since they started doing that.
Was
There was
that
like
on
a
the
three
back
point
foot?
eight percent.
Was that when he was
Yeah,
running back on his back foot and he
it,
just yeah.
yeah. So I think it was like 3.8% chance that it was not a touchdown, which was a bit mad. He's now I think the two lowest percentages him and Tyler Lockett had one at Seattle, but um, yeah, it's good to see the Broncos winning some game. I mean, Jerry Judy I think deserves a bit more than he's had.
You rate him,
Um,
but you've always rated Jerry.
I did, yeah. I still think he's good, so
Mm.
I hope he gets more snaps.
Well, the Broncos have got a proper team next week. Well, this week they've got the Vikings Sunday night football.
Yep.
That'll be interesting. See how that goes.
I'm in two frames of mind. So my QBs are my fantasy team. I've somehow managed to get Josh Dobbs off waivers as he was a Cardinal, and then he moved to Vikings literally like the next day. I got him. Um, but I also have Pat Mahomes.
Decision,
So
decision.
who do I start? I mean, the Chiefs have the Eagles this week,
Oh, no, that is tough. That is tough. Um,
so
I feel like with this Josh Dobbs hype train that's going on right now, I'm loving it. I'm living it and I'm loving it. But I feel like in the back of my mind, it's like it feels too good to be true. I feel like something's going to go
yeah,
wrong like one week, but
yeah.
don't want to be a pessimist and trying to roll with it at the
I
minute.
know. I think that's just the mind of a Vikings fan at this
It
point.
is, honestly, it is typical. Bottle everything. It's
Yeah,
way too good to be true. Um, I suppose we should talk about Cricket World Cup as well. That's been the two semi-finals have
yeah.
been on yesterday and today. Um, quick touch on England's performance in this tournament before we get started in the
Pretty
section.
non-existent. Started off poor, lost our first game, won the second, thought it was going to go up in the world, and then pretty much lost it nearly every single game from there then on
Oh,
in,
terrible.
and like embarrassingly as well.
Mm,
No game was close. I mean, that was a big story of the whole World Cup. No game's really been that close, except for maybe a couple. So it's not been the most exciting World Cup.
no, definitely.
Um, but yeah, England are absolutely piss poor. I again don't know the reason why Ben Stokes was picked, and then was out for three or four games, then played three or four, like the rest of them, but didn't get going until like the fourth one. And it just seems like a wasted roster spot. The fact that Jofra Archer was travelling but was never going to
Nonsense.
play made no sense. And now he's injured his elbow again,
Well,
so
I
he's not
actually,
playing in the OD in the was it against Ireland?
yeah, at this point, I actually just feel sorry for him because,
Hmm.
he's had so many reoccurring injuries. Like, I think he's an elbow in particular. But
Hmm.
he's so good. But I just think we overused him at the beginning of
Yeah,
his England career. Like, he was playing all three formats, and now he's just, he must have been pretty close to back playing again. In his
yeah.
terms of his rehab, and then he got this injury again. So I feel for the bloke.
So
Feel for him.
yeah, I think it was an England team picked to not to fail, but it wasn't a winning squad. I think everyone had that idea. Jason Roy being kind of ousted, I think didn't really make sense. Um, Harry Brook was okay. I
Mm.
don't think he and none of the team lit anything on fire. To be fair, I don't think there was any kind of bright sparks. Milan was probably our best player,
Lanny's decent.
most consistent. Um,
Josh Butler as
and
well.
yeah,
It's great to
that
see.
was it.
Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
Butler again. Just should expect so much from him as well as the captain. It feels like ever since Owen Morgan left as captain, it's sort of just gone, yeah, like downhill
yeah.
completely.
To be fair, it's a hard choose to follow
Yeah,
with arguably England's best ever ODI player.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
No, I was just saying the rest of the World Cup has been okay.
Yeah,
And a couple of storming games like Maxwell's double century
yeah. I was
to
just
win the
about to say,
game from like what 95 for six to 200 something.
is that? Do you
Was
reckon that? Do
insane.
you reckon that is probably the best cricket World Cup performance that single-handedly, like because he was on one leg as well. Like he was
Yeah.
hitting every the timing that he must have had to have no footwork, but to still smash
Mm,
everything out of the park and to single-handedly take your nation to the semis is mental, absolutely mental,
yeah.
crazy.
It was probably the greatest knock I've ever seen.
Mm.
I don't think I've ever seen any like it. Particularly even like Ben Stokes's um in the Ashes
Ashes, yeah,
is
yeah.
like 180 or something. Yeah, I think because it is a limited overs game, they were so far down and out. The fact that he was able to do that, like Pat Cummins came in, maybe I think he scored like 12 off 60 odd balls.
Mhm.
He was playing Test cricket,
Yeah,
and he was playing T20 cricket. So
yeah,
unbelievable. Afghanistan must be shooting themselves in the foot, but yeah, unbelievable. And
crazy.
like Australia didn't have the best start to this World Cup.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I think they lost their, their first two games and then won the rest of them. Now they're in the final.
Mental. What happened to Sri Lanka, by the way? Because they've been like suspended or something from
So,
ICC
so Sri
competition.
Lanka have been banned from all cricket.
Like what? Like how?
I don't actually know why. Sri Lanka ban. I'll just type it into Google. The ICC has suspended Sri Lanka cricket on Friday, citing political interference in its administration.
Right.
Ooh. Um, so earlier this week, the Ministry of Sports sacked the national board over the team's poor performance at the Cricket World Cup. The ministry also accused the board of corruption.
Ouch.
Bloody hell.
Not look
So
good.
yeah, they're not having a good time.
No, not looking good at all. I mean, wasn't it Sri Lanka in the final of the Asia Cup where they like
Yes.
bowled all out for like 50, 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if that was something dodgy going on there as well.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, to be fair, there's been a lot of controversy over this Cricket World Cup in general. That the grounds aren't up to scratch. Like
yeah,
players have been worried to dive and stuff because of injuries because the
yeah.
grounds are just unstable. Um,
So much
the
sand,
semi-final,
sand and
yeah,
stuff, turf as well. Yeah.
just broken up. The semi-final was changed from a venue that hadn't been played at before to a venue that had been played at before that was
Mm.
used, and that was some controversy. Um, yeah, so and India have managed to win every single game they played so far. So they can the
Allegedly, allegedly, the yeah, the the pitch changes and that have been a little
Pretty
bit in
helpful.
favour, a little bit in India's favour.
I know Kohli just happens to score his 50th hundred in the semi-final. What are the
Just
chances?
what are the chances?
Um, so yeah, it's been interesting. It'll be interesting to see on Sunday, sorry, um, whether Australia can actually. I don't know who I want to win.
No, yeah, I don't know who wants to win either. Like in all fairness, I know we're pointing fingers slightly at India. They have an incredible team. They
Oh
have
God, yeah,
Bumrah is probably one of the best bowlers in the world, if not the best, especially in the ODI format. Kohli looks like
yeah,
he's back to like amazing best. He's amazing best. Like you got Sharma, incredible captain.
yeah,
It just their team is so well rounded. Um,
yeah. They do
but
have probably the best team
yeah, they
in
do.
the World Cup.
And what was the result in the Australia South Africa game? That was like quite a low scoring affair, wasn't it? Australia got the win.
Yeah, so South Africa at one point were 25 for four,
Hmm.
but managed to get to 212 all out with Mitchell scoring a century. Um, Australia started off really well. I think got to 60, 70 for no loss in like 8 overs,
Yeah,
um, which didn't take them long at all. And then they lost a couple of wickets, got some more runs. It got down to, I think they needed 30 runs, but had 4 wickets remaining. It was a bit tentative. They weren't really going for their shots. I think there was only a few overs left. So they really kind of had come down on their run rate, but they didn't need a particularly high run rate to start with, so it did help. Um, so yeah, that was probably one of the more exciting games of the World Cup.
hmm
Um, which brings like India obviously beat New Zealand. India scoring close to 400 runs. New
that's right.
Zealand getting almost close.
Yeah,
Um,
it was for like a brief period of time. It was like, oh my god, like is this on?
yeah,
Like, but yeah, that soon slipped away.
yeah. So I think my money would go on India. I think to
Hmm.
win the game on Sunday. Um,
I mean, I know we say about pitches and stuff, and the pitches are a favour in India at this current time, but if you try and play like devil's advocate a little bit, like is that not the same in England? Like when we try and
yeah, that's
have
it.
swinging conditions for Jimmy or whatnot, or Australia when they try and have the most green fast wickets as possible. Like, is that not just
I think
different
that's
ways
probably
of
part of the
adapting the
game.
game? Yeah, bending the
Yeah,
rules
I
as
mean,
much as they can.
I think when the World Cup was in England, I don't think the pitches particularly. I mean, we're probably a lucky nation that most of our cricket pitches, the big ones, are really well looked after.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I think India probably are well within their rights to pick their venues. I think again they're the host country. Should it not be an advantage to play at in your own country? I think it probably always should be. Um, so yeah, again, like I said, it's one of those. It probably has been pushed to be a bit slower pitches, kind of like that. But at the end of the day, wouldn't everyone else do the same?
True. True that. I suppose there's been a bit of boxing news this week. There is, I think today, Tyson Fury and Usyk has been officially dated as the
Oh,
17th of February. So it's official. They're meant to be fighting in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. I find this whole Riyadh season thing mental. So they've hosted. It seems to be boxing is now moving across from Las Vegas across the globe to Saudi Arabia, which is fair enough. You know, they're chucking the money at it, so and they're making these
yeah,
fights happen. But there's also another boxing card as well on I think it's just before Christmas, like December 23rd, where AJ's fighting a guy called Otto Wilding, and I think Deontay Wilder's fighting on the same card, but he's fighting Joseph Parker, and there's quite a lot of other big fights, but it's all under the umbrella of like Riyadh season, and I just think
yeah,
I just can't comprehend that we've had all these years of struggling to make fights, da da da, and then all of a sudden in this Riyadh season, we've had Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury,
Yeah,
we've had all, and then we've got all this card, and then we've got Tyson Fury, Usyk, and I just find it mad how it's all coming together. Um,
mm,
but yeah, did you hear about the Fury and Ngannou fight, and did you hear like
I
how he
did.
got knocked down and that kind of
I,
thing?
I did hear that it sounded like a robbery at some point. Like Tyson Fury didn't box well at all, and Ngannou actually boxed insanely better than anyone thought he would. Like I said, knocked him down. Um,
It was
yeah,
surprising. It was really
yeah,
surprising how he. I think it really caught Fury off guard that how well he
mm,
could box. Really, um, I do think it was incredibly close, and it could have gone down as a draw. I can't lie, but I don't know if you could give. I struggle to see if you could give Ngannou a flat out win because
yeah,
he did knock him down, but Fury was playing the points game. He was only just doing enough in the majority of the rounds
yeah.
to win on points, but with the knockdown, you could arguably say it was a draw. So I don't know. It was a really weird fight to watch. In terms of other British action in fighting, Tom Aspinall won the interim
Mm,
heavyweight championship of the world this weekend. He did it in mad fashion. Just he came off
yeah,
like he was against a Russian guy, and this guy's like meant to have crazy knockout power, and he's done like 6 knockouts in these past 6 or fights or something like that. And Tom Aspinall came in as a late replacement on 2 weeks' notice, and just
yeah.
knocked him out in a minute, like in a minute and a half, like mental.
It's great to see. To be fair, I think that was quite cool. I think when you do have that kind of, it makes it a bit more exciting. It makes it exciting when somebody comes in last minute and does well, and it's not just like a walkover.
100%.
Um, Especially for a title game, a
Yeah.
title match. It's good for the sport, I think.
And if you're counting this interim title as a proper title, then England have got 2 champions. Like you've got Leon Edwards, who's the
Mm,
welterweight champion. You've got Tom Aspinall, who's the heavyweight interim champion. I'd love to see John Jones is the current champion, so I'd love to see them to fight. And to have the goat John Jones fight Tom Aspinall
yeah,
would be sick. Would be good. Um, did
I
you
feel like
see?
John Jones will win that, but
Yeah, no, John Jones is scary, dude. He's so.
yeah.
Did you see about the Netflix Cup? It was chaos, mate. It's absolutely
I didn't watch it. I haven't watched any of it yet, no, but it looked insane. Like, what the fuck was going on?
exactly. That's how you describe it. What the hell
Yeah,
was going on? It was obviously I didn't watch all of it because it was on like Las Vegas time. So I think it started at like 11 p.m. here and went on to like
yeah,
the hours in the morning. But I watched like the first tee off. It was mental. Like they all teed off at the same time. So both pairs,
mm,
four ball, like teed off at the same time. And then in their teams, they both got in a golf cart, and it was like a race in their golf cart to
yeah.
to where their ball landed, the pitch of their ball, and then it was like a race to see who can like put their ball the quickest, and it was crazy. Lando picked up his ball before it stopped moving, so they were disqualified. And it was just then you had Marshawn
Jesus.
Lynch, beast mode, doing the interviews, and he was like smoking a joint, and it was like, what the hell is going on? Honestly,
Was
I
it
think
good at least?
I don't
Or do you
know.
not know? It's just
It was
weird.
just chaos. It was absolute
Yeah.
chaos. That's the best way to describe it. I didn't see all of it. I saw that Carlos Sainz and his partner, I can't remember whose partner,
Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas. I think they won. But I think he dropped the trophy. It
Yeah,
broke.
broke.
Yeah, in the celebration. But I think you can still watch it on Netflix. I think it was like a live stream, but I think you're still able to watch the replay. So I
Oh
might
yeah.
have to figure out what actually was going on. But it's very bizarre. It was really, really bizarre.
Very weird. I did see bits of it like all taken at the same time and having to run, and I was like, well, this isn't in anything like I thought it was going to be.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Obviously, it's the Las Vegas Grand Prix this weekend.
Yes.
They've done like I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, they've done like some Super Bowl like show, like launch party show, and they're on these massive
Look,
platforms and they're like waving to the crowd. It's just bonkers. It's actually bonkers.
yeah. I don't know. Like, I think Max was up and said it. He was like, "This is 99% a show, 1% a
Yeah,
race."
100%.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't think he's too happy about it.
no,
I think everyone's a bit confused because obviously the temperature is a bit different than what everyone thought it was going to
it's a lot
be. Even the
colder.
F1, it's
Yeah,
like 3 degrees.
yeah, it's close to freezing. Like I don't know how that's gonna
Yeah,
work. And it's a night race,
no.
obviously, so it's colder. Like
Well, there was a video of like I think a test car going around it, just sliding everywhere. So
it's gonna be carnage, mate. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to watch it just purely because it's
yeah,
carnage.
it's going to be absolutely mental.
I don't know if you saw as well, like if you've seen the massive sphere, the
Yeah,
sphere in Las Vegas, right? So that's right by like the track. And obviously it illuminates whatever, projection they want to show on it. And the people who, run the sphere, they've been banned from showing the colors blue, red, or yellow because it will be like it can put the drivers off. Obviously, yeah, you got yellow. If there's safety car, yellow flashing light. If there's
yeah,
red flag for postponement of the race, and I think blue flag is like if people are overtaking.
yeah.
So I think that
Letting lap cars
that's can't
overtake,
overtake.
or letting cars lap you basically. Yeah, going
Yeah,
out the way.
but yeah, so the race should be interesting to say the least. Anyway,
Oh, definitely. I hope it's good.
yeah, is it?
Like the fact that they've done all this massive stuff for Las Vegas, absolutely a ton of money to go to. And I hope it's actually good.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's the penultimate race, I think. I think there's only this one and Abu Dhabi left, and then the season's
Is that
done.
it?
Yeah,
It's about Brazil, don't they?
Brazil's been done.
Is it?
Yeah, Brazil was
That's
done a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, it's 2 more weeks to go. 2 more weeks to go.
that's mad.
I think everyone's
I
mentally
mean,
checked out this season as well because of how dominant it has been for Max. But any other sports news? Harry Kane's flying in the Bundesliga. Like, how many
he's
goals has he
absolutely
got now?
bossing it. 20 odd. I think he's breaking records in the Bundesliga that they didn't think anyone could beat. I think it's great for him. He seems
Yeah,
to be thriving. Um, Tennis at the moment is the ATP finals. Yannick Sinner's probably playing the best of anyone so far.
last one.
Um, in his home country of Turin. Home country of Turin? Home
Country.
is it? It's in Italy. It's in
Hometown.
Italy. There we
Just
go. I don't even think it's his hometown. It's just in Italy.
in Italy.
Um, yeah. So that's going pretty well. Nothing
Obviously,
too
it's
special.
international break at the minute as well. Again, this is like I think this is the last international break for a while.
I hope so.
I think the next one's March, but yeah, just I hate this part of the season when you just feel like international breaks every few weeks.
I
Um,
know.
but yeah,
I mean, next summer's the Euros.
yeah, it is. Next summer is the Euros. Where is the Euros again?
Germany.
Germany. Germany. We'll see how that goes. England would probably be favourites, to be honest. You'd have them. You
One of them, yeah.
tip them up there the way that Jude Bellingham and Harry Kane are playing right now, especially. So
Yeah.
obviously you've got the Cricket World Cup on Sunday, the final, which I'll keep an eye on that. Is it
Oh,
Sunday
yeah.
or Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Cool. Right. Nice one. Yeah, we'll probably catch you again when we can. But yeah, enjoy the week in the sport when it comes, and we'll catch you again next time in a bit.
Yeah. Peace.